Welcome to the No Bull Political Arena with your hosts, Sophia Nelson, Bill O'Reilly, Brian Mistro, and TJ McCormick. It's real voices, raw politics, and no bullshit. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Political Arena. It's Brian Mistro. I'm here with my friend Bill O'Reilly and TJ McCormick. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful day. I'm calling
Ahoy, Capitan! Ahoy!
Yes, I will be doing my show from the boat while it's so pretty like this. So hopefully I don't make too many people jealous and hate me. So anyways, yeah.
I don't hate you. But I don't hate you.
So yeah,
TJ?
it's good.
Yeah, too late. I like the guy, but I'm jealous as hell.
Well, it's 75 degrees in Washington State. How about that?
And he doubles down. 75 degrees. We're freezing in New York.
We're freezing in New York. I got 3 coats on.
Well, let's start chatting about something that happened this last week, and we haven't had a chance to dive into it yet.
And just occurred to me, a bikini model's about to walk down those stairs behind you.
If it does, this entire show is going to end really quick. So,
fellas, don't hate me. It's 75, and Bernice here is going to make some coffee.
Sip over here. Let me go grab my Corona real quick. Give me a second. Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's all good. Hey, we're having fun. So, last week, was it Thursday or Friday? And I can't remember the exact day. I think it was Friday, but. Virginia Supreme Court knocked down the redistricting of Virginia, said it was unconstitutional. This was the Democrats' big one. You know, this is the one, TJ and Bill, this is the one they were touting about and saying this is how we're going to flip the House, and then we don't have to do anything. And you know, this was their baby. And so I'm going to give my opinion real quick, okay? And I'm going to pass it on to you because I think we're all three going to agree on this. Good. I'm glad they did it. Now, it pisses me off a little bit how they did it, but, you know, I come out of the electoral reform side of this stuff, and there's nothing that puts me on, and I know you and I disagree about that a little bit, Bill. I absolutely hate gerrymandering. I think it totally breaks stuff. They've done it right. I think the Virginia Supreme Court called it right. What I'm wondering is why the hell all these other states that are doing this mid-decade redistricting. Why didn't they? What about California? What about Texas? You know, why didn't these other states, Bill? I don't know. What do you think?
No, nobody should be doing it. And it is, you know, you do redistricting based on the centennial, based on the new census. It's been American custom forever. Law, it's constitutional law in New York. And anybody who's doing it, I think is wrong, and I think the court should throw it out. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. So I was happy that Virginia got thrown out. I think New York's going to get thrown out. I mean, New York is basically thrown out. It doesn't matter the party. This is not, you got to play by the rules, and the rules have been set for a long, long time on this.
Yeah, I agree. And to say the quiet part out loud, this is one of those issues that does really try your mettle when it comes to being intellectually honest, because you do kind of watch the story if it's your side that's trying to do it.
Right.
You know, it's a little less of a sting if your side prevails. But you do kind of, if you're intellectually honest, if you try to be, then you do, you know, you don't really crow about it, and you do kind of wish they hadn't done it. But if there's an ancillary benefit for my people, and in this case too, I was especially disturbed by the court flip, because they had voted on it, right? I mean, this was what was.
Yeah, they'd already voted on it.
Referendum.
It passed.
So it was put to the people.
I didn't think that would happen, by the way. I didn't.
Right,
I didn't think it would happen.
Same in New York. The people passed a thing saying they did not want this, and they did it anyway 3 more times.
Right, and you know, and in this case, the people wanted it. The Dems won, and it was so anyway. You know, So, but yeah, it's never perfectly clean.
You know, and then I heard this. Go ahead, Bill. I was just going to say, I heard this chicken shit after this that, you know, all the Dems are talking about, well, let's lower the retirement age of the Supreme Court justice so we can kick them out and we can get a new ruling that we like. I mean, how stupid does that get? And I guarantee you, those exact same people that were saying that about doing that would have been the same ones if the court had ruled in favor of them. Well, it's the courts, you know. You got to respect the court ruling, right?
Got to respect the.
Yeah. The parties are just burning down normalcy for
Yeah.
every single issue, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's like every single issue get rid of the filibuster, pack the court, do pack the districts, like whatever it is, it is all about the next election. There is zero foresight in this country for anything.
And you know what just
All
occurred to me?
I'm about is getting elected on both sides, and there's no
Yeah.
foresight.
And
Yeah.
you know what just occurred to me too? And there is an ancillary, unintended, negative casualty of this, and that is something that we were talking about before we went live. There is so much stuff chewing up, so much stuff at the national level, so much bullshit and craziness that is churning away at the news cycle, and it's sucking away the local politics. The local government, local politics, local issues matter less and less and less and less and less, and they get drowned in this cacophony of stupidity. It's bad enough when there's legit stuff to talk about at such a higher level and on a grander scale, writ large, the macro, but the micro suffers even more when so much of it is brain rot out there. Anyway.
Yeah. No, it's, I go back to, what we talked about before, and it just breaks the system a little bit more. And, I guarantee you any Republican that is saying, oh, well, of course they did, and standing behind, what happened, okay,
Right.
They need to be doing the same thing on Texas, on Florida, on Alabama, on Louisiana, because every one of those are redistricting right now as we're talking, okay? So it's bullshit, a pox on both sides. A pox on both sides.
All where they lay. Yep.
So,
100%.
so here goes the next question, and we all got to get out our little crystal ball, okay? What happens to the midterms? There's a gentleman I followed here, and I'm just going to go ahead and read his post here for those that are either listening or can't read it. But he said, after losing their map in Virginia, Strength in Numbers estimates that Dems are now down 6 seats in the House. Mid-decade redistricting. If you also add in the VRA, it could be another 2 to 3 seats across the South. And he finishes and he says, for Dems need to win the House popular vote by +4 to win the majority in the midterms. I don't know, Bill. What do you think? It sounds logical to me.
No, everything changed with Virginia, and I had dinner with a guy on Saturday night who's one of the, I won't name him, but he's one of the brightest political people in the country, and he thinks Republicans now have a shot at keeping the House as a result of Virginia. We'll see. I'll just say I am not one of the brightest people in the country. I'm saying that, I have no idea at this point. We need to see where history brings us financially, Iran, Cuba, all these things. There's still time to change the electorate. And that 4-point thing feels like if you're going to do an under-over in Vegas, that 4-point sounds exactly right.
Yeah.
It feels like you need to outperform about 4 points.
I got to say, walking around just in my own little simple mind for the last month or so, I have felt less apocalyptic about November. 2 months ago, I was just, it's over, it's done. There's just no way. There's no way. I gotta say, things are there, maybe because of that cacophony. Maybe because of that cacophony at the top and the brain rot every news cycle, there could be some desensitizing there. There could be some, and maybe if Trump has a win or two, if this Iran thing does, if he does get rid of the federal gas tax, for a temporary, whatever, which would be a
6 months, I think it was,
big move. Again, I don't see, as I sit here now in May, I don't sense the bloodbath that I was convinced of in March.
Yeah.
2 points. I was just going to say, we got to watch the gas prices, and I'm for getting rid of the gas tax because we are just printing money anyway.
Yeah.
No, I'm being facetious.
It's just a formality, right?
It's just, let's get rid of this tax and that tax and this. I'm not a big gas tax guy, but put it on the bill. Put it on my daughter's bills.
Well, and I was reading today too that other European countries, most other countries with the exception of China, which would be another show that we got to talk about sometime. But with the exception of China, countries across the globe have been, digging deep into their strategic reserves, and many of them will run out in the next couple of weeks. But the United States, I think, from one of the analysts I read, I think it was Bloomberg. I don't quote me on it, but I think the United States runs out at the end of July. But who would have been going back? When was it, February that they invaded, Bill? Who would have go back and say we'd still be doing this in the middle of May? So July is not that far out, I don't think so.
No, July. July's right around the corner. I mean, it's this action is going to take a little bit, but it's the prices of gas are the bottom line on it. That's what people care about. Nobody watches the international news. They watch for the first 2 days and then that's it. Who's watching Ukraine anymore? What Americans watch Ukraine? Other than people that are really into it. But what they say is, what does it cost when I fill up?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's
kitchen table issues.
We stupid Americans. That's what
kitchen table issues. Kitchen table.
Yep.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because I do want to talk about a CNBC reporting today that auto loans and credit card delinquencies, as we can read here, in the United States have hit all-time highs, according to CNBC. I don't think, and we said this before on the show, I've said it several times now, I'm going to say it again, I don't think the real impacts of the strait being closed have hit the United States yet. Yeah, we got a little bit higher gas prices, but it hasn't bled into the cost of food, the cost of auto repair, the cost of clothing, all those types of things.
Because we're energy dependent. We figured it out. We're energy dependent after what happened in the 70s with that and with the Iraq War and other things. We became energy dependent on a bipartisan level. Presidents of both parties thought it through.
Yeah, but if the gas stays, and it's diesel, it's not gasoline, it's diesel. If diesel stays high and keeps for an extended period of time, farmers can't farmers can't eat that. Somebody's going to have to eat the higher food costs. Somebody's going to have to eat the higher shipping costs. Everything that's out there is going to go up, So I'm really concerned, once again, at least in my view, that the worst is yet to come. And I think some portion of that is already baked in the cake, even if we had a peace deal with Iran today. Now, the United States would probably come out of it better than anybody else I know, with the possible exception of China. Once again, China. But it's still going to be a mess, TJ. We've talked about some of the heating and bills and stuff and the things that you guys have had to deal with. Are you guys seeing a lot of inflation on your side of the country? Because I haven't seen it hit things here yet.
Heating, yeah.
In heating, yeah. Have you seen food go up?
And everything.
Yeah, everything's more expensive. And look, Bill and I also happen to live in the highest taxed county in the highest taxed state in America. And, the people I know that are really, really well off, and the people that I know that are, I know fewer people that are, paycheck to paycheck, but there's a lot of people that are paying, and there's just less dough to go around right now. People are just being taxed, and I think it's also psychological too. It's like the idea that we know. I think there's a lot of resentment out there, and we know where that tax money's going. You know what I mean? The people know that it's going to these pork issues, going to illegal migrants. It's going to anyway. I just, there's less cash flying around because people are spread out a hell of a lot more. Gas, insurance. Friggin' insurance, homeowners, car insurance, and you have to. You get that notice. You get the cute little text. Hey, just so you know,
you're opening up that bill.
And who has time to do a deep dive, to go and get some advocate or to advocate for yourself? Who has time to go into that? Yeah. It's easier to roll over, take that $175 a month friggin' hit, and then you find yourself parsing shit out. And you find yourself putting off that car payment until 2 or 3 days late, 4 days late, a week late. You time out the mortgage.
And how many phone calls do you get in that week? 150? every
Right.
3 minutes. Where's our money? Where's our money? Where's our money?
Right.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
to continue in the rant, the credit card companies, you mentioned the credit card companies are having trouble. They
Right.
can go straight to effing hell.
Yeah.
Credit card companies can go straight to hell. What they're charging people 29% interest. It's Shylock fees. It's immoral. The great religions of the world were all against anything like that.
Mhm.
It is immoral what the American credit card companies are doing.
Mhm.
If they all went under, I don't care what the effect is, the ripple effect around the country.
Right.
I would laugh my effing ass off.
Wasn't Trump and weren't Trump and the Republicans talking about capping those
Trump's
fees?
talking about it.
Yeah,
These
Trump
guys,
is
these credit
some
card
of the
companies,
Democrats
they
too.
hook people in college. They hook like people who are low income,
Yep.
and they ended up they get in debt by the time they're 25 years old, and they never recover.
Can't
They
get
don't
out of
buy
it.
a house.
Right.
They delay marriage. They don't have children. They do all this stuff because they're paying their effing credit card at 29, 30%. It
Yeah.
is wrong. It is like people need a beating for it. I'm sorry. I'm not
Yeah.
advocating a
I
beating,
I'm
but it is so
100%.
friggin' wrong. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't care if it's a conservative thing, Republican thing, whatever. It's
Right.
wrong. It's
Yep.
morally wrong.
It
I'm
is.
with you. Yes, absolutely. Boy, we're agreeing like crazy on this program today. This
Yeah,
is very
we're doing
unusual. I want to jump to one thing real quickly,
Holy
and
shit,
then I
he's
want to.
sweating, folks. He's
Oh,
pissed.
wow.
It's warm up here. What else are we talking about?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to read this one out again. So just in case of folks that you can read it here for yourself, folks, but I'm going to read it to you just in case you're either listening to this or you can't see the slide here. And this is from Ronald Brownstein. I don't know if you know him, Bill, or not, but I follow some of his
I know who
stuff.
he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said, as I wrote in the 24 exits, Trump routed Harris by 62% to 36% among white voters without a college degree in union households. So I want to go back to that because I've been saying this, and I've been saying it on social media. God, before the last election, that the unions were going to start moving towards MAGA. They fit the profile. You know, they're blue collar workers. Yeah, they're blue collar workers. They generally don't have a college degree. I mean, the whole profile that many of them work in rural areas. It fits the profile. So that doesn't shock me at all. I don't know what you thought. What you thought, Bill, but that just didn't surprise me at all.
Doesn't surprise me a bit. That's the demographic of the MAGA movement. But
Yeah.
public service unions go all Democrat because they know where their bread is buttered. They vote for the people that pay them more.
Yep.
Bottom line.
And
Democrats
TJ
are
brought that
always
up.
going to shell out more money. Right.
And
Yeah,
TJ,
exactly.
you brought that up as with the post office, I think, right? You pulled it up last time. We were talking about do they have a union? Because I didn't even know they did. I didn't know they did. But yeah, you called that one right.
But for the private union, private sector unions, absolutely, it fits. I think they probably get the. I remember there's another Reagan ad in '84 that came out. It was a father and son walking down the street, and the son was confessing to his dad, "Hey, I'm thinking of voting for Ronald Reagan this time. I know we're a Democrat family, we're union." And it's that kind of ethos that's, I think, seeped in. I think I don't know what the stats are, but a heck of a lot this private sector union workers now are Republican.
Yeah.
And again, by the way, I'll always bring up this over across the Atlantic facet of the exact same conversations happening right now in the Labour Party in the UK, LABOUR, the OUR Labour. They are absolutely struggling with the fact that they are considered to be the party of the elites. They are not considered the party of the working party. Now over there, they have a new third party over there called Reform UK. It had been what was it? It's Nigel Farage is a fellow who's a British fellow who's been
I know the name,
Trump ally. And he started Reform Party, and he had started another third party a few years ago to bring in Brexit. That succeeded, and then they dissolved that party. Now they have Reform UK, and it's the working people and blue collar, and it's not about no immigrants, but it's about let's keep them legal and let's slow things down. But it is definitely working class, and the perception is that Labor, they're Democrats, are the party of the elites.
And of NAFTA in the U.S., the old NAFTA party. It's the party of George Clooney and Oprah Winfrey and Meryl Streep and AOC and Mamdani. It's like Come on.
You know, I agree, and it's amazing how so many of the things that happen over here go across the water, or
Yep.
a lot of times things that happen over
And
there follow us
yep,
politically. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I just don't follow the UK politics like close enough, and that's why I enjoy listening to you, TJ, because
Mm.
I mean, and breathe it. Yeah, and I appreciate that. So
We
for
got it bad enough here, TJ. I don't know how you do in two countries. I can barely handle one.
yeah, exactly right.
It kills you. It destroys you.
Yeah, that's true, and I do. I am becoming a regular on a network over there called GB News, Great Britain News, and
Yep.
so it does require a kind of a split brain
Got it.
at times. But
You do it, buddy.
anyway,
You've got it down. So let's do something that, and this should be a nonpartisan, I think, discussion. I want to
We'll
play a
try.
video, right? I want to play a video. So just before I press play for the audience, when you listening to this is John Ossoff. He is the senator for Georgia, and he comes out, and I'll let you listen to it. But he comes out calling out both parties for the amount of money that they have put into this, and that it's a corrupt system. And he clearly says both parties twice, to a standing applause of Democrats too. So we're going to listen to this for just a second, and then let's chat about it, because I think this would make a great subject.
Because how does American politics really work? It's coin operated. Money goes in, favors come out. It's been running on secret money, corporate money, billionaire money, both sides. Both sides.
All right. Wow, that's a lot to unpack. I don't know if we should start with Citizens United, or just the ability of certain individuals of high net worth on both parties, to move a party or a ideology one way or the other. You've got, I guess, Elon Musk and maybe some others on maybe the Crows on the right, and then you've got some of the other folks on the left. It's the Microsoft guy, and some of the others, and you guys can throw out the names. But the point is, do we have too much money in politics? Can we reform that system such that one person or a corporation doesn't have that much of an ability to move the electorate? What do you think, Bill?
I say no. Money is speech. Buckley versus Vallejo, 1970 Supreme Court decision, that if somebody has money and they want to speak, like First Amendment in the modern world means buying newspaper ads, doing radio, doing things that cost money. Money is speech. It's your money. You should be able to do what you want with it. The corporate stuff is, I prefer it being from the individual side. But no, you try and limit money. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You try and limit money in politics, like McCain-Feingold. You just push it someplace else. You are never going to borrow money. You push it dark. You push it into committees that don't give a damn about the ramifications or the unintended consequences of their ads that are always vicious, nasty, cutting, because they don't have anything to protect. All they have to do is hit and hit back. That's what's destroyed the country, is money going into dark places. The candidate should be able to spend whatever they want, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if they could spend $100 million. And the Democrats, I'm not trying to be partisan, they got more billionaires than we do. There's plenty of money out there on both sides. Yeah. I don't give a damn if you spend it. You're going to waste about 95% of it. Go ahead and do it.
And it's an honorable position to take, or to consider at the outset. I mean, I'm with Bill in terms of the free speech. I'm a free speech absolutist, and I guess for me, the only bumpers there, the only guardrails are is when it comes to actually calling for violence, or I think offensive, sure, hateful, all right, calling river to the sea, I kind of, you got to draw the line, I think the reason that conservatives, myself, conservatives tend to be a bit touchy on it, because there is a built-in, very helpful relationship on the left. The left they have a running head start, given their relationship to the media and to
the unions.
Unions, the media, and academia. So they have a head start. That messaging has so many outlets, and those are well greased, well orchestrated. So when you see Obama and now Alex Soros, because his dad is blessedly,
Source, yeah.
on blessedly on a downturn. But when you see Soros and Obama and some tech giant sitting down, that's ominous, because we know there's already a delivery system that's not just in place, but ready and willing, with like a good basketball player. They got the hands out ready for the pass. Whereas when you see a Koch brother and Elon Musk, let's bring it to the current right now, the really current, and then you see Elon Musk sit down with a Joe Rogan and a somebody. It's not exactly the same well-oiled, unbelievable, overly dominant machine, because the New York Times are not also sitting there with their engines hot revving, and CBS and NBC and George Clooney and the next movie, and what are we going to push in that. The unions, you don't have the teachers' unions ready for the placards. It's different. It is different for the left. They have an advantage.
And Brian, I just want, like, when I'm talking about with the money, I'm talking about in political speech. I'm not talking about lobbyists bribing politicians.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, $1 trillion moves here and suddenly they get the contract. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, we should be competing for the best ideas out there, and new ideas and old ideas and everything in between, and anything that can put those ideas out into the world, I see as positive. Even
I like bribes. I think bribes are just
bribes, right? I forgot that.
It's so I want to explain something to our audience that if they don't know, and again, I'm going to come from the electoral reform side of it. So you hear, if you're going to give to a candidate, right? Well, you can max out that candidate. You've got a primary max out, then you've got a general election max out, and there's some rules into that. Actually, there's a lot of rules into that. And if you give so much as a penny directly to a candidate in his PAC, that technically has to be reported to the FEC. I've always thought that was a bit of a misplay, and let me say why. If you max out a candidate for $5,600, or was that $11,200? That's not where the impact hits, in my strong opinion. The money and what really sways elections is super PACs and 501c4s, especially because you don't have the reporting requirements. You don't have the limits on how much money you can dump in there. You can do it effectively, anonymously, and nobody will know. And so I'm kind of in a way agreeing with you, Bill, because I do think it could be reformed, but the way that it is right now, in my opinion, just doesn't work very well. And
makes it worse.
Yeah, it does. And I'm going to leave, and we've got to close in 2 minutes. I want to leave with this, the audience and everybody, with an idea. So I went to Minnesota, and I was doing some electoral work there and some canvassing in Minnesota. And they have a really unusual system, and I'll share it with you. So you can, if you're from Minnesota listening to this, you can write a $100 check to a candidate of your choice every year, and you get $100 back from the state of Minnesota for writing that check. So in effect, what they're doing is allowing you to donate to candidates, but they're taking it off, and literally will send you a check to reimburse you for the money that you gave that candidate. I don't know. It's an interesting system. I didn't know if you knew that, TJ or Bill, but it's very interesting.
It's a little bit nicer to taxpayers than New York system that pays, if you donate to a candidate, the taxpayer money makes it 12-fold. They times 12. You give 100, it's now $1,300.
Oh,
they multiply by 12.
Matching funds, public
matching funds, and taxpayers are on the hook, and it's just a democratic state. every level of the state is run by Democrats,
Yeah.
and they do this matching fund program, so they'll stay there forever. That's the idea.
Sounds like another way for them to make it a little bit more money. Yeah.
12 to 1. Are you kidding me?
Oh, what a mess. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. Please subscribe to our channel. If you're watching it right now live, you're watching it on YouTube as it is. But go to No Bull Media Group. In case you're just listening to this, go to YouTube at No Bull Media Group, where you're watching this right now or listening to it, and subscribe to it. Leave a message, drop us a line, give us a like, tell us you love us, you hate us. I mean, we'll talk about that stuff, and we always do talk about that stuff, on our program. So Thank you everybody for joining us this evening. There'll be a lot more things happening tonight. I've seen some breaking news. It's going to be some fun for tomorrow. So thanks, Bill. Thanks, TJ. Thanks everybody for joining us. Yep. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Bye, gang.
The No Bull Political Arena is on all major social media platforms. Of us and your host to follow.
Hey everybody, this is Sophia Nelson. Follow me at I am Sophia Nelson on every one of my social media platforms.
I'm Bill O'Reilly, and you can reach me at Twitter at WFBOR.
Hey, this is TJ. Follow me on X or Twitter at TJ McCormack.
This is Brian Mistro, and you can follow me on X at Brian_Mistro or follow along on Facebook at Brian.Mistro.
A No Bull Media Group member.